Hello everyone, hope you're well. So yesterday was a bit of an interesting day with the market moves before the open, which made our candles look a bit rubbish, and there's a bit of confusion for today as well because of those candles yesterday. But there's a few things on today, not as much as recently, but there's a few things to look at. So we'll get into the share screen, and I'll turn my camera off. Okay, so got a few things here. We've still got the yen pair, the yen trying to get some strength. We've got the US dollar, which has shown some weakness, and that may be coming to an end. We'll see. And there's a few other things as well going on, so we'll get stuck into this. Remember, we're going through the 28 major Forex pairs. My intention here is to teach you chart analysis. I'm not here to give you trades as such. So the trades that you see, positions you see on TradingView are not exact. They're just what I think might happen. And obviously as time comes closer and the entry presents, then I position up properly and take the trade. But the idea of this, of me being here, is to help you understand how to analyze the markets, look for possible turning points in the market, and then positions that trades that may play out following that. So let's get into this then. So we've got my best list here. I've only got three nice ones, and there's a few other ones that may play out soon today. And there's a big list of ones which I'm waiting for some interesting stuff to happen. So we start with Aussie CAD. It only became interesting just a few moments ago. It's now 10:40 a.m. over in Brisbane, Eastern Australia. So the Asian markets have been open for an hour or so, and it was looking pretty flat until the big move in the Aussie. So what we have here on the daily, it's just been chopping sideways in a kind of downtrend. We've had a pullback to the daily 50, deceleration. As I said, yesterday's candle was a bit misleading. It wasn't as bullish as it looks here because of the open, but it was this deceleration at the daily 50 and this major resistance level here, which you can see was even touched just back here recently. So that's looking for me. I've got an arrow on there. Not good. Let's put an arrow on. Hopefully TradingView will be a bit more responsive today after yesterday's slowness. So there we go. So I'm predicting this will go down from here. It's looking like it's going to hit the daily 50 and go down. Look at the Elliott wave, and this big trend line that goes way back. We rejected that up here back in the middle of August, and since then we've had a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 pullback, and then this is wave 5 that may go down to the lows or just below. So we're looking for a short trade on here. Now I looked at this. We've got the 4 hour, 5 minute, and the 1 hour. We're going into the 1 hour. That's where most of the information is that we need to look at. We had this kind of wedge forming here over the last day or so. Mind you, the green line here is the daily 50, if you saw it touching. The red line is the daily 20, and then the big thick blue line is the 4 hour 50, and the thick red line is the 1 hour 50. I like to see it all on the 1 hour chart because that gives me a good idea for price projections and dynamic support resistance, that kind of thing. So it's hit the daily 50 in its wedge. The wedge implies or shows you deceleration. Right, it's massive acceleration up here, bounced around a bit, and it's decelerated up towards the daily 50. So is it going to break up or break down? Normally wedges break down. The daily 50 just been rejecting there. It implies it's going to break down, but there's always a chance it will break up. And breaking down also goes with our thesis from the Elliott wave. This is wave 5 short. So there's a possible position here. Now, how do we play it? We can play this as a swing trade. A swing trade, so we've got deceleration at the daily 50. We could, if we do it as a swing trade on the daily, we're going to be, it's not really great because where would you enter? Below yesterday's candle, maybe. Stop just above and then play to the lows, or the 618 extension, which would be just below perhaps, but you're only going to get one, possibly maximum 1.5 to 1. So a swing trade is not really looking that great on a wave 5. If it had been a wave 3, then you'd have more potential there. So there's another swing trade you could do as the 1 hour close on this trend line break. Something I'm considering. We can do that, or we could just have a wait for it to break the 1 hour 50. 4 hour 50 is quite close, so we probably need to trade through it. And on the break of the 1 hour 50, pull back. So I'll give you one little arrows here. Should it go from here, break down to maybe even hit the 4 hour, pull back to the 1 hour 50, which will be back here somewhere, and then we can then trade that down to here. So we wouldn't enter until we see a break of the 1 hour 50 and a pullback. And then we could take an entry there on the pullback to the 382 and the 1 hour 50 and take a short trade. That's something that might even play out today. Probably maybe another, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 candles on the 1 hour. So maybe later today, maybe in the UK or the US session, that might play out. Although the 1 hour has pulled back a long way, it might even close inside this triangle, which would be interesting after that big move. There's some Aussie news due in 45 minutes. Not big news, just somebody talking about finance, a bank or something. So it's not really big news, but it's maybe they're preparing for that. Don't know. So there you go. That's a possible setup there. Or you could even play it safer and wait for the break of the 4 hour 50, which is the blue line, and a pullback. Tool again. Pull back to the 4 hour 50 and then take it short. That's another possibility. There we go. So Aussie CAD, put that on your list. Looking interesting. If it breaks above, then we'll have to wait for the 1 hour 50 to catch up and then play it along. It looks like it's going short. Okay, next one, another Aussie one, Aussie Kiwi. This is one we looked at yesterday. It didn't quite pull back, but it kind of did actually. It kind of just about touched the 1 hour 50 or very close. So you could have played that long on there. Unfortunately, it was a bit late in the day for me again. So I didn't take this trade. But on this pullback here, could have taken the trade, and it got up to highs before pulling back quite sharply. As you can see, it pulled back very sharply there. So if you're trading a stop, you could have got out for 1% or so profit on that one. What are we looking at now? Let's see what we've got now. So we've got a double top form. We've got deceleration, beautiful deceleration candle yesterday. Again, a bit misleading from these candles, but it looks pretty good. Hitting this level here, which is a strong level, double top. MACD, got a strong MACD divergence, implying it's going to go, it's losing bullish pressure, and we got some bearish pressure happening here. So looking for a pullback. Swing trade, not really good because the daily 20 and daily 50 are pretty close, so there's not going to be much profit in that as a swing trade. But as a day trade, we have some potential here. During this trend line, which kind of ignores this, probably a news event here on Friday. I think it's Friday, Thursday, Friday. And then we've touched on those lows there. So if we get a break of that line, which also lines up with the 1 hour 50, that could be a good indication that we have a trend change. and we can now go short. So looking at the 1 hour 50, if it breaks it up here somewhere, obviously got to break. You've got to go from here, break the 1 hour 50, pull back to the 1 hour 50 in the 382, and then take it short down to lows. Something like that. That could happen later today, not too far away indeed. So we'll see how that works out. So you'll probably find your stop loss will be about here somewhere. This will be over here somewhere. So it took a while for that to develop. Back to the 4 hour 50. Not great profit onto the 4 hour 50, but if you took it to the daily 20, you get more than daily 50, depending on your personality as a trader, whether you like to do short-term profits, bank it and move on, or whether you try to take a longer-term approach. For me personally, see how it plays out, but the 4 hour 50 is pretty close, so it's probably going to be trading through the 4 hour 50. I don't know how to push it too far, maybe down to the daily 20. So that could probably give a couple of % or so in there. Yeah. So that's one to watch. Again, we're waiting for that breakdown of that trend line and the 1 hour 50 break. To keep an eye on that one, I've got my alert there. I put it down there somewhere. Good. Third one is another Aussie. Pound Aussie. Click the right button there. So Pound Aussie, looking on the daily, we have, it's a bit messy because of yesterday's candle, but we had a pull up to the day 20, rejected that. It then did a high test the following day, breakdown the following day, and yesterday had a bit of an interesting day. Opened up, closed below the open, but above the close or the previous day. It's a bit mixed. It still looks like it's going short, at least to these lows, maybe longer, maybe lower. We need proof from the lower time frames. So this is the 1 hour. We can see there's a kind of trend line here, which has been rejected again this hour, which is interesting. It seems to be holding. As an entry, we've got the 4 hour 50 just behind us. This is the daily pivot, today's daily pivot based on yesterday's price action. And we see we've actually got an entry here. So in fact, we could be taking that short right now. And then you can either do a 1-to-1, quick 1-to-1, in and out, thank you. Or you can take it a bit longer and take it as a hyper trade, 4-to-1 to new lows. And then do you use trade management to make your profits as they come, if they come. Okay, so with the fib, got 382 kind of lines up here, close to the pivot and close to 1 hour 50. That looks pretty good. Looks like it might be off already, but hopefully we'll get another pullback, and maybe that could be a trade worth looking at very soon. By the time you watch this, it'll probably be moving somewhere or other. Okay, that's Pound Aussie, that's an interesting one. And then we've got another Aussie one, Aussie Swiss. Major level here, double bottom. Looks like we're going long. Got MACD. Yeah, got a massive MACD divergence. Not too oversold, but reasonably oversold. So we're looking like it's going to go up from here. Onto the hourly. What do we see? We see a big trend line here that's been broken and retested. So test, break, retest. Looks like it even retested it on the open yesterday. Interesting. And now we have a pretty strong support line here, which was tested here, here, and here. And we could even make a triangle out of these three high tests here. So it's forming a triangle, which is a deceleration pattern, implying that it is going to go long, but no guarantees. So I have a couple of strategies that can play that. The ABO, advanced breakout, which will trade it through the 1 hour 50, getting around here somewhere, trade it through the 1 hour 50, through the trend line and up to 4 hour 50, or actually up to the recent highs. That's a strategy I have, but the safest one is obviously waiting for the 1 hour 50 break and retest. So again, I'll do my lines in here. So from here, it might even come down and retest again, break up through the 1 hour 50, that trend line, pull back to the 1 hour 50, and then go up to the 4 hour or beyond. So, yeah. So I've got my alert setting here. I don't think I'll take that as an AVO. There's a break of this line back here, but I'd like to see the break closer to the apex before it breaks out. So we'll see what happens there, but definitely keep an eye on this one. Get the break of that trend line, break of the 1 hour 50, pull back, nice entry up here somewhere, and you can trade that's the 4 hour 50, and that could be a nice little trade on there. Right, CAD yen. So we've got some yens, lots of yens, ones which might play out pretty soon that I like, and quite a few more that were on my other watch list, which I won't go through, but you're welcome to have a look at those and see what you think. So, very strong level, same as yesterday. Had a bit of bullish action, but that level has not been broken, which is why I like this one so much. A nice trend line up here, which is being respected and still being respected, or just being broken now, maybe. We've got a resistance line here. So we've now got, from this high here, we've got a lower high. That's why I like this one so much. And even lower high or a double top, and then either a double top or a lower high for these two highs. So that's implying a trend change. We've got a lower low here. Since then, we've had a few higher lows. So once this trend line breaks, we're going to see some nice price action, hopefully, and it will come down here. Do my little lines again. So it'll come down from here, if it wants to work. So we come down from here, break the 1 hour 50, go down to here somewhere. That's what the fib lines up with. Back up for an entry, and then down to the 4 hour 50. So that could be a nice little trade on there. Yeah, see what happens there. The trade, of course, won't happen until we get an entry here somewhere. That's a nice one to watch. I like this one because of the lower highs and a pretty strong trend line to break, which it looks like they might even break this out. All right, Swiss yen. And this is another yen pair. And I like this one for a different reason. This one has been on a pretty strong bull run. So I'm looking for it to go short. Now the yen, the thing is the Swiss has been very strong recently. So there is a kind of MACD divergence, but not the most obvious one, because of from this high here, it's a lot higher, but we've got a similar high here on the MACD. RSI really overbought, due for pullback, but we have no evidence of it yet. We had deceleration, beautiful deceleration here. It's up on, was it Friday? And yesterday another bullish candle. So we have no proof of a trend change yet. We've got a nice trend line here on the hourly. Really nice, been respected so far. 1, 2, 3, almost 4 touches. So what happens here when this trend line breaks, we're also getting a rounding off the top here. So there's a good chance we get some kind of trend line break here at some stage soon. Break down, maybe bounce off the 1 hour 50, then come down to break the 1 hour 50, come back, give us an entry, down to the 4 hour 50. Something like that, you never know, but that could be a nice little, when it does happen, there's a nice gap there between the 1 hour 50, 4 hour 50, so there's good potential for a nice trade short there. The big disadvantage, of course, is it's such a strong bull run. When it breaks, it's going to break fast. So we have to wait and see whether we get an entry or not. Good. Next one, pound Swiss. The last one we look at. So this has been in a downtrend. Must be really oversold by now. Yeah, RSI is below the 30 line, so it's very oversold. MACD divergence, very strong. lower lows all down here, but this one here is much higher on the MACD. So it's a MACD divergent, it's applying higher prices. We've got a level down here. The level's not that great because of just basically lows. But if we go down to where we are today, we'll see that it's kind of lines up with this wick here. So click on this one. Come on. There it is. So yeah, so that's pretty strong actually because of that. That's a major level because of that resist, that rejection there a while ago. But that's a major rejection. So this is a major level. Good. So I'm liking this. Make that a DDP up. Nice big yellow one. So what have we got in the hourly? Well, here we go. We've got higher lows. That's a nice start. Look at this trend line here that's been broken and retested. The hourly 50 has been tested but not broken yet. So I'm waiting for the hourly 50 break, pullback, and hopefully a nice long trade from there up to this trend line or the 4-hour 50. That could be a nice little trade on there, especially when it's doing something. So that could be a nice little long trade up to the 4-hour 50 or this downward sloping trend line, which is going back away. Or you could even trade it higher if you wanted to. I mean, this is so oversold on the daily. That's really for a reasonable pullback, good pullback here. All right, that's that. So let's go with an alarm. So have a quick look at that, see what's happening. Not very much. Maybe the alarm's on this line here, is it? Yeah, there's an alert on the line, so it must have closed on that line. Just touch that line. So we're waiting for a break. Let's see what goes on there. So there we go. Screen share, me again. So I hope you found that useful. Got some ideas there. There's a few things that might play out today. And as you can see, there's a big list of things which may pay out later this week. So we'll keep an eye on those as well. Okay, good. Hope you found it useful. Like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll be giving an update again tomorrow. And have a great day. Good luck on the markets. I'll speak to you soon. See ya.